Hey, I'm Ray. Today I'm going to share the steps how to audit your life. And the day I realized I was living everyone else's life except my own. Here's what nobody tells you about transformation. It's not about trying harder. I was already working every spare moment outside my day job. I had time blocks, productivity systems, color-coded calendars. My health was tanking. My relationship was crumbling. And this app about living better, it was becoming the very thing destroying my life. That moment forced me to discover something that changed everything. You don't need more willpower. You don't need better goals. You need to understand the invisible operating system that's actually running your life. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how it works. The shocking truth about why you can't change. Think about this for a second. Every morning, you wake up and you instantly become yesterday's version of yourself. Not because you want to, but because your brain is literally voting for who you are with every single action. For 10 years, I was addicted to self-improvement content. Books, podcasts, YouTube videos. I consumed everything, convinced the next piece of information would finally be the answer. You know what's crazy? I kept asking friends and family for validation, for direction, and they kept giving me the same constraining answers. They could only see me as who I'd always been. It took me a decade to understand. Every time you do something, anything, you're casting a vote. Read one page, you just voted for I'm a reader. Skip the gym, I'm not someone who exercises. These votes add up like compound interest, except instead of money, you're building your identity. The breakthrough came from the weirdest place. I started practicing not judging others. Sounds unrelated, right? But when you stop judging others, something magical happens. You stop judging yourself. And when you stop judging yourself, you can finally see the stories about who you've been telling who you are. I remember the exact moment this clicked. I just parked at work, turned off the car, and the music stopped. As I locked the car, it made that beep beep sound and a bird chirped back, mimicking it perfectly. I stopped, really stopped. The wind was blowing through the leaves on the ground. Sunlight broke through and hit me on the face. And for the first time in years, not thinking about who I should be, I just was. My anxiety left with each exhale, and I thought, this is it. This is what being alive actually feels like. And then, of course, I started thinking about how to get back to that feeling, and it vanished. But I tasted it. I knew it was possible. And this is why your environment is making 10,000 decisions for you. Let me tell you about the $15 purchase that changed my life. For months, my desk was chaos. Bills mixed with notebooks, coffee rings on important papers, cables tangled with electronic spaghetti. Every morning I'd sit down and feel like a weight on my chest, like my brain was trying to process 20 tasks before I even opened my laptop. The solution was embarrassingly simple. A desk organizer from Target and cleaning up my room. Just 5 minutes to clear everything. File papers, align my keyboard, that's it. The first morning after, something weird happened. I actually took a deep breath instead of sighing. And within 3 days, I was starting work 20 minutes earlier because I wasn't procrastinating. I knew exactly what I needed to do. By week 2, ideas that had been stuck for months started flowing. Turns out half my stress wasn't from difficult clients. It was a visual noise. Here's what blew my mind. Your environment isn't just your desk, it's everyone around you. You literally become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, not because of some mystical law of attraction, but because your brain mirrors their behaviors automatically. Want to become a runner? Join a running club. Want to start a business? Hang out with entrepreneurs. The community doesn't just support the goal, it makes the identity feel normal. That is why I created the Pioneers community, to grow with like-minded people. And then there's your information diet. Every input shapes your mental state. That news feed keeping you informed, it's actually programming your brain for anxiety. You know, those stories, success stories you're binging, they might inspire you or they might make you feel like garbage. You have to audit your inputs like you audit your finances. Less is more. The compound effect that actually works. Here's something that might sound too simple to be true. Everything that transformed my life started with 2 laughable small changes. First, a bedtime alarm, not a wake-up alarm. 10:30 p.m. my phone would chirp, telling grown adult it was time for bed. For 2 weeks, I'd hear it and think, this is ridiculous, I'll do it tomorrow. Sometimes I'd ignore it for another hour, feeling vaguely guilty. The second change, a 7-minute walk. Not a run, not a workout, just walking to the end of my street. I was too embarrassed to tell anyone who brags about 7-minute walk. But watch what happened. After 3 weeks of mostly hitting that bedtime, I started waking up without an alarm. That pathetic 7-minute walk. After a month, I thought, might as well go around the block. It was too hard to even turn around and go home. 2 months later, I ran a 5K at an 8-minute mile. The consistent sleep had given me energy I hadn't felt since my early 20s, all from a bedtime alarm and a walk shorter than most YouTube videos. This is the compound effect that nobody explains properly. 1% better each day means you're 37 times better in a year. Not double, not 10, 37 times. But here's the kicker. It works in reverse too. Those small negative habits you're tolerating, they're compounding just as aggressively. When you completely fall apart and how to come back. Let's talk about failure. Real failure. Not missing a day or two, but completely abandoning everything for months. I went from working out 5 days a week to not exercising for 4 straight months. The trigger was a brutal breakup that made me question my self-worth as a person. Every morning I'd see my gym bag by the door and feel this wave of shame. So I shoved it in the closet. During those months, I replaced morning gym sessions with scrolling through social media, bookmarking self-improvement bits that gave me just enough dopamine as if I actually was applying myself. I replaced healthy meals with whatever required the least effort. I told myself I was taking a break, but really I was punishing myself. The self-talk was brutal. Why bother getting in shape? Or I'll start next week, I promise. The procrastination and negative self-talk was winning. The turning point came when I saw a photo from a friend's birthday. I didn't realize the person staring back at me. Not physically, but the deadness in my eyes scared me. That night, I didn't make any grand promises. I just pulled those dusty running shoes out of the closet and placed them by the door. The next morning, I put them on and walked. Not ran, just walked. With each step, I practiced saying, I forgive myself. Instead of the usual mental beatdown, that simple act of self-compassion combined with moving my body, crack the door open. Here's your recovery protocol. Never miss twice. Whatever you missed yesterday, do it today. Even if it's teeny. Missed a workout? Do 5 push-ups. Didn't write? Write 1 sentence. The goal isn't perfection, it's just stopping the spiral. The story you're telling yourself is a lie. I'm the person who ruins relationships. That was my mantra for 5 years. After 3 relationships ended badly, I'd consolidated all that pain into one devastating belief. I'd actually warn people on first dates, fair warning, I tend to mess things up, or I've had a lot of bad relationships. I remember sitting at a coffee shop, delivering this warning to someone new, and they looked confused and asked, how do you know it was you who messed up? The evidence that shattered this story came from an unexpected source. My ex from 5 years prior reached out and apologized and thanked me for being the most emotionally available partner they've ever had. Then a friend pointed out something obvious. I'd been choosing emotionally unavailable partners, not ruining relationships. Once I rewrote the story, I'm learning to choose partners who match my emotional availability. Everything shifted. I stopped apologizing for existing. Every problem in your life exists twice, once in your reality and once in the story you tell about it. The story version is usually way worse than the actual problem. When you say I've always been bad with money, you're not describing reality, you're creating it. The 90-day quest that changes everything. Forget about 5-year plans, forget annual goals. 90 days is the sweet spot for transformation. Long enough for real change, short enough to maintain urgency. Every quarter, choose 2 quests, not 10, 2. 1 for work and 1 for life. That's it. Why so few? Because focus is your multiplier. When you try to change everything, you change nothing. Channel all your energy into 2 areas for 90 days. You create breakthrough momentum. Your quests need to be specific and measurable. Not get healthier, but complete a 5K. Not improve my relationship, but accomplish 12 weekly date nights. Make them challenging but achievable. If you've never run, don't make your quest a marathon. Track your progress visually. Get a calendar, mark on X on every day that you complete your habit. After a few days, you'll have a chain. Your only job, don't break the chain. If you do break it, never miss twice. One missed day is a speed bump. 2 missed days starts a new pattern. Your 3-year vision and why it will happen. 3 years ago, I sat in my cramped studio apartment eating ramen for the 4th night that week with $240 to my name. I wrote in my journal, one day I'll be successful enough to give my friends life-changing gifts. I got specific. I pictured handing my best friend Mike keys to a reliable car. He'd been taking 3 buses for years to work. I imagined Derek's face when I'd surprise him with the jet ski he dreamed about since high school. For myself, I visualized learning to ride a motorcycle, something I always dismissed as like a dream or too dangerous to try. I taped that journal page to my bathroom mirror, and every morning while I was brushing my teeth, I read it to feel inspired, and I kind of felt a little bit delusional. But 8 months later, after I got promoted to team leader, I watched Mike's eyes tear up when I handed him keys to a car of his own. 6 months after that, Derek literally crushed my spine when he hugged me so hard after I showed up with a jet ski I gave him. The motorcycle moment was different. Standing in the dealership, signing the papers for a bike I'd researched obsessively, I remember that desperate version of myself, filled with self-doubt and dreaming of the impossible. The salesperson asked if I was okay because I'd gone silent. I was realizing the gap between impossible and reality was smaller than I ever imagined. Write your ideal Tuesday 3 years from now. Not a vacation day, just a regular Tuesday. Where do you wake up? What's your morning like? What are you doing? Who are you with? How do you feel about yourself? Get so specific you can taste the coffee and feel your energy. The identity ladder you're already climbing. You can become anyone you want, but it happens so gradually you won't notice until you look back. Start with micro commitments that are almost laughably small. Want to become a writer? Write 1 sentence. That's it. But here's the key. After you write it, tell yourself, I'm someone who writes daily. You're not lying, you just wrote. Essentially, today is all that matters. After a week of single sentences, you might expand to a paragraph. After a month, maybe a page. You don't have to lock into anything. If you write more one day, great. If you don't, the next, that's okay. But even if you stick with 1 sentence, you're accumulating evidence. You're climbing the identity ladder 1 step at a time. The ladder has 4 stages. Micro commitments that establish the behavior, habit establishment where it becomes automatic, skill development where you actually get good, and identity integration where it becomes who you are, not just what you do. Most people try to jump straight to stage 4. They announce, I'm a runner now. I signed up for a marathon before running a single mile. Then when reality hits, it doesn't quite match. They quit. Or worse, they get hurt. But when you climb gradually, each rung supports the next. By the time you reach identity integration, it feels inevitable, not forced. Your transformation starts with 1 decision. Change isn't about willpower, it's about systems. It's not about goals, it's about identity. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Just showing up for yourself. My objective here was that you could take at least 1 thing away to get that 1% better of daily improvement. I mean, you've already started, you watched this video, by thinking differently about your potential. You've casted new votes for who you're becoming. The compound effect is already working. The best thing you can do for yourself now, write down some actions you can take today to better yourself for tomorrow. Maybe it's writing your ideal Tuesday, maybe it's moving your phone charger out of your bedroom, or maybe it's putting your workout shoes by the door. Choose what resonates most deeply. The thing that made you think, I could actually do that. Just start small, make it so easy that not doing it would be ridiculous. Then do it today. Do it tomorrow, and then do it the next day. Build your chain, cast your votes, climb your ladder. The transformation you're seeking isn't in some distant future, it's in the next small decision you make right now. Design your transformation. You understand the mechanics, the levers you can pull, the systems you can build. You're not at the mercy of motivation or circumstances anymore. Just keep experimenting, keep questioning. And remember, expertise is just curiosity combined with persistence. We all have the capacity for both. If this resonated with you, you'll love what's next. I have created a practical walkthrough where we'll design your first 7-day quest together. Click here to continue building your personal operating system for change. Your future self will thank you for taking action today.